everyone, and welcome to Espe Rants. My name is Hope, and I talk about C-dramas, the K-dramas, and everything in between. And today is Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day, or in my case, happy Single Awareness Day, but I love it over here. Today we are going to be talking about the new C-drama Les Belles, which is very, perfect for Valentine's Day, right? It's giving you romance and love with that title. Very unique title for a C-drama, but I love it. It is 26 episodes, and it dropped on WeTV. First of all, love that it's 26 episodes, but we'll talk about that later. This is my first thoughts video. In my first thoughts, I cover production, characters, and my overall thoughts on how I think the C-drama is going to proceed. Now, as usual, in my description box, you will find timestamps for you to click to whatever part you want to hop to if you don't want to sit here and listen to the whole thing, which is perfectly fine. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's start with production. This is going to be quite a breeze through because it's 26 episodes, and when they have to shoot a 26 episode C-drama, it's pretty straightforward, okay? We have our cinematography. Nothing groundbreaking, straight to the point. I think overall it's just good, right? And then we have editing, transitions. Nothing distracting. The cuts are clean. Everything is just going smoothly with that. So I have no issues with the editing, this type of editing, or like the cuts or transitions. Everything's good with that as well. Then we move into music or scoring. What is it about C-dramas lately in the music and scoring for me? I don't know. It is not anything that's really annoying me, but it's something I do notice. And with this one, I understand. So with some of the scenes, they have sound effects that go with it. And they're there to kind of, I guess, create or help the comedic moments to give that comedic vibe. But sometimes I find them a little bit gimmicky and a little okay, it's a little bit too much. But I understand why they're doing it. So I'm not really judging it too much. But sometimes I'm I roll okay. It doesn't really need it all the time. 4 episodes in, it's something that's continuous and something that I will see will proceed on throughout the C-drama, but maybe it will slow down a little bit. Maybe. Is that wishful thinking? I don't know, but it is what it is. It comes with the territory of doing a comedy sometimes, so I'm not mad at it. And last, we have costumes. And the costumes are pretty straightforward as well, but I will say that their hair pieces or head pieces that I've seen throughout it so far in the first 4 episodes are really pretty. And in the first episode, the female lead's dress, her wedding dress, the beading was gorgeous. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so pretty. Don't get rid of that dress. Keep it forever. I'll take it, girl. I'll take it because that was pretty. But yes, overall, production value, very straightforward, nothing too much to complain about. So let's move on to characters. At first, we have our female lead for Lesbelles. And I will say that the actress, I am not very familiar with her. This is actually my first time. If I saw her in something else, I probably don't remember what I saw her in. But this is my first time actually seeing her in a lead role. And I like her character so far. She is slightly narcissistic, but not in an annoying way. And she is very much like a go-getter. Her character situation is basically that she is trying to marry a man who will marry into her family so that she can receive her inheritance. And it's just funny how she kind of goes about things. She adapts to situations really quickly, and I would say she's smart, but then she is has no clue when it comes to the male lead. She thinks he's in love with her, and that man is he can't stand her for real. Which is funny how she does so much and just doesn't get it. Everything he does, she's just oh, he loves me. But she's still someone who doesn't play, because when they were trying to escape and she was fishing for fish and she caught the male lead, she was not about to save that man. She was oh, we don't need these problems. And if it wasn't for her younger sister, that man would have stayed in the water and would not have survived. And even when he was on that boat, she was doing the bare minimum for him. And when they were getting close to that town, she was you're gonna have to jump in that water and swim your way there, because you're not about to mess this up for me. I was priorities, babe, priorities. See, you could be a boss female lead without having power or this or that. You can showcase it in different ways, and that's how she's showcasing. Because even how she navigates getting into the house and meeting the families and all that, she's very smart and adapts to the situations quickly. So I do really like her character, which helps me enjoy this C-drama a lot more than I thought I was going to. Moving on to our male lead, and that is played by Mr. Allen, and I really do love him. I've watched so many of his C-dramas, and I was a little nervous about him doing this because I was I want to see you in a more serious role, but it actually works well for him. And I'm actually enjoying his character. Honestly, 4 episodes in, I still don't know what this man's true position is. I just know that he's trying to investigate undercover like a corruption case, and he seems to be connected with the prince. But like outside of that, I'm like, what is he doing? I know he tries to fly under the radar by presenting himself as a playboy, which he really is not. That man just likes to be by himself and paint. But I don't know what other position he has. I'm sure that'll be clarified as we go on. But I do love his comedic timing when he is just interacting with the female lead. Basically everything he tries to do to push that woman away backfires. Like even his own servant is his own op and like is trying to push him towards her. So it's just funny, their push and pull dynamic, which I didn't expect that I would like so much. So I'm like, okay, Alan, sorry I doubted you. Do you, boo, do you? I'm just gonna talk about 2 more characters. One would be like the soon-to-be husband of the female lead that she ran away from. And honestly, we'll probably see more of him later on because we only really saw him in the first episode. But I will say that even if this woman wasn't trying to marry a man who would marry into her family for inheritance, she still wouldn't marry that man because he was giving unhinged from the first second he was introduced. Like he was giving crazy eyes, and that alone says get the heck up out of there right now. So yeah, he's probably gonna be one to be like very problematic later on. I was like, yeah, oof, sir, you playing that role a little bit too well. I'm like, are you like this in real life? Sorry, but you're doing a little bit too well. And then next we have our little niece, y'all. Yo, she is growing up right before our eyes on screen. I love watching like children actors like grow up, but then also I'm like, dang, when did you get so big? Like, why are you now an adult? Because I have literally watched some children actors from when they were little, they are now adults, and I'm like, stop it. Am I old? So she is the female lead's younger sister. And at times, baby girl be doing too much, okay? Like when the female lead was trying to get away from her soon-to-be husband and be like, I'm not doing this, they got on a boat and little girl dropped her toy in the water. It was like, no, I need it. I was like, girl, if you don't, shh, they trying to get away. You trying to sabotage them. I was like, get another toy. It is not that serious. I mean, it could have been a toy left by her parents or whatever, but I was like, no, you can figure that out later. But her sister got her a toy because she's a good big sister. And I was like, okay. But then when they were at the banquet, and she literally went to another table and asked the girl for her chicken feet. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting secondhand embarrassment. Girl, sit down. Your sister is trying to accomplish big things. She's trying to get married so she can get that money. Pipe down. But she's so cute. Like, she really be riding for her sister. She's always there when she needs her. But she's just a child, and children would do what children do. But I love seeing her, and I love that she's like growing up right before our eyes. So cute. Keep working, girl. She is booked and busy. Love it. For our Lesbelles, I don't know why I feel like I had to say it like that, but it's like meant to be said like that. So don't judge me. Okay. Overall, Lesbelles is an easy watch. It's 26 episodes, which means it's going to wrap up in a couple of weeks, which I love. For this type of genre, it didn't need to be more than 26 episodes, so I'm so happy they got that right. I appreciate that. I do. I will say that at times I have literally been laughing out loud at some of the moments. As I said before, Alan has very good comedic timing and a lot of his moments like land perfectly. I will say that this is a drama that I could just throw on and not think too much about, and that's why I do like it, because not every drama has to be like so thought-provoking or move me emotionally that I'm crying. Sometimes I just like something that's silly and fun to watch, and Les Belles is definitely that. So I think I'm gonna be here. I think I'll finish this one. I know I've been saying that a lot lately and I've been dropping, but this one I do think I will finish because it's just lighthearted and it just makes me feel good. You know, it's just a perfect kind of like fun, quirky C-drama that I can just kind of throw on and detach from the world and just be there. I will say that the pacing is good, which I do appreciate, and I think that the romance is going to develop at a good pace as well, which is a nice change because a lot of the C-dramas lately, those romances have been like right out the gate. They've been already googling on each other. I'm like, slow it down. Make it bouncy. Okay, sorry. Which is why I like that this romance is gradually developing, because clearly she needs a husband so she can get her money and he don't like her. And so they both eventually will truly fall in love with each other. And I just like their back and forth as we're getting to that point. So thank you for taking your time, Lesbelles. The plot honestly is not anything super unique, but I do like the way they are telling the story and it has me intrigued and engaged. So I overall really like Les Belles and I will continue to watch it. What are your thoughts about Les Belles? Are you watching it? If so, comment below because I would love to chat. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification button so you won't miss any of my C-drama rants or reviews. And I will see you next time.